So maybe what I'll do is we'll do our prayers. I'll start with our meditation, kind of like just covering, like what we did, or what Rinpoche talked about last time and time before that. And then today's the last one. So, and then I'll talk about what the last thing we're gonna cover today. So yeah, okay. So let's
let my dog out. Give me just a moment.
Sure. All right, let me share my screen. So we'll do our prayers. Okay. So reminding ourselves that we've been cycling through many lifetimes since beginningless time. And we still haven't been able to get out of it. We're still going through suffering, as are so many others. And the only one who can help us are the gurus, the guru, the Buddha, who is the same as who is inseparable from the Buddha. And so thinking about his kindness or her kindness, we go for refuge. So I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merits I create through listening to the Dharma, may I become a Buddha in order to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merits I create through listening to the Dharma, may I become a Buddha in order to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merits I create through listening to the Dharma, may I become a Buddha in order to benefit all sentient beings. Okay, so now we'll do our meditation. Taking the posture, meditation posture, as best we remember it. But the most important thing is to have our stable, our grounding of, if we're sitting on a cushion with our bottom on the ground or the cushion, if we're sitting in a chair, our feet touching the ground, and our kind of stable body so that we feel grounded. And the back straight, but with a natural curvature. So we'll do a short breathing meditation just to calm our minds. So as we right at the top of the refuge prayer, if we remind ourselves that we are still under the power of karma and delusions, that we have been going through the cycle forever and ever and ever. And why haven't we been able to escape from it? Because we've tried many different things over the different lifetimes. We've practiced every possible religion there is. We've practiced every possible virtue. And yet we are still in the middle of this suffering, and we don't know where we'll end up next time around. So we have to think for ourselves why that is. It's because we still haven't gained the realizations that are necessary to transform our minds. Our minds are still distracted and dissatisfied. And who can help us? It's the Guru, because he's the one who can guide us, who has traveled the path, who knows the correct way, who's authentic, who has these realizations, who model them for us, who show what compassion is like, what patience is like. And the blessings we receive from him by devoting ourselves to him is what is the rocket fuel, as Lama said, the rocket fuel for our progress, spiritual progress. Without it, our hearts will continue to stay hard. We think we know everything already. We're cynical. Things just bounce off of us. But the blessings we receive from the Guru is what makes our heart soft, receptive. Makes us humble. It's like the sun and the rain for the seed to sprout into a big, beautiful oak tree. So it's very important. It's essential, actually, as Lama Tsongkhapa says. It's the foundation of all good qualities. So it's essential that we correctly devote ourselves to the Guru. And that's what Rinpoche has been speaking about, exhorts us to practice correctly. Not because, he leads a cult and he wants everybody to obey him and so forth and so on, but because of his great kindness, he wants us to be able to become like him, to help others with infinite compassion and kindness and patience and generosity and all those other things. So he, he speaks about why the Guru is the Buddha. It's important to really be able to see that. So we're cynical. We only see the faults. We see this person in front of us. We see them picking their nose, coughing in between sentences so we can't understand them. Or they manifest anger and we think that they're out of control. It's because our minds only see the faults. But we have to remind ourselves that nothing is certain in our view. Because of karma and delusions, can we really believe what our mind tells us? So we can think about our own experience in just worldly life, about all the times our minds were incorrect. We thought one thing, but in reality, it was totally different. So if you can remind yourself of a couple of instances like that, so our experience with the Guru is like that. Maybe they make a mistake in quoting a text. Maybe it was written by Chandrakirti and instead he says Asanga or something like that. And our minds immediately thinks, oh, how come he doesn't know that? But we have to remind ourselves that the Guru, we don't have the karma to see the Buddha. We weren't born 2,500 years ago in the current Buddha's time. We weren't able to get teachings from him. And we are not in a pure land to be able to get teachings directly from Maitreya or the Shakyamuni Buddha or Manjushri and so forth and so on. So we can't see them in their Sambhogakaya and body. We're here in the desire realm, and of course the only way to connect with the Buddha is if the Buddha appears to us in front of us as a human being. We wouldn't take teachings from a dog, even if he were a Buddha. has to be a human being for us to trust him. And if he's a human being, he's going to have human being faults. And so just because he exhibits forgetting, doesn't mean he's a Buddha. He's not a Buddha. So we have to kind of inspect every moment these negative thoughts appear in our minds, and we have to think about it and see whether it's really true. So nothing is certain in our view. Just because it seems that way is not, it's true. And then we know that the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are always working for sentient beings because they made a vow. So if we make prayers to meet teachers, to make progress in the spiritual path, and someone appears as a teacher, and the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas have vowed that if we make prayers, they will come and help us. Then the teacher who appears in front of us must be a representative of the Buddhas. Because if he didn't, then that means the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas aren't fulfilling their vows. So like that, we have to think about that because they're working for us. And the teacher is working for us. So the teacher must be in our desire realm, must be a representative of the Buddhas. And as an extension of that, the actions of the Guru are, they're the doers of the Buddha's actions or the Buddha's intentions. So all the Buddhas are guiding us when the teacher guides us. Numberless Buddhas, as Rinpoche says, numberless Buddhas are guiding us. And so we have to think, whatever activities the Guru is doing, all the Buddhas are doing them for me. Yeah, we have to really make that connection that he's doing it for me. The Buddhas are doing it for me because of the unlimited, infinite compassion and kindness. So that's why the Guru is considered kinder than all the Buddhas that have ever lived. Because he's the one who is here when we are down, who guides us. So like with these kind of thoughts, we have to generate this great devotion. That's what Rinpoche says. The devotion that is the foundation of our quality, all our good qualities. So we have to generate this devotion towards the Guru and follow his advice in the most effortful way we can. So with that, we can end the meditation. So, yeah, so that kind of covers, if you have a chance, I encourage you to look at the videos that Rinpoche had, from last time. But anyway, so today we will, so let me bring up so today what we will talk about, or what we will listen to Rinpoche is, the developing the respect by remembering the Guru, the Guru's kindness and so forth and so on, and how to devote to him in thought and action. Those are the last 2 points in the Lamram. After one has, really considered the advantage, the benefits of following the Guru, the disadvantages of not following the Guru, why the Guru is the Buddha, and how why is the Guru is a Buddha. So once we have convinced ourselves that the Guru is the Buddha, then we develop the respect, but we try to constantly remind ourselves of the Guru and his kindness and his qualities. So we continue to fuel the devotion. And then the Lamram talks about how to correct, once we have developed the devotion, how to correctly follow the Guru in thought and in action. So that's kind of what we'll cover today. So let me share and hopefully, because I really want to do this, hopefully I'm going to try to make time for this. In fact, I will cut short the other things to try to make time for this. There's a wonderful prayer to the lineage gurus. There's a long prayer and then there's a short prayer. I'll talk about both of them. And Rinpoche talks about how to do the prayer and do the meditation at the same time, because that is I find it, and different people have different minds. I find it incredibly inspiring, especially doing retreats and so forth and so on. It really creates this, this soft heart that Rinpoche, Venerable, the soft heart term comes from Venerable Rene, but that he talks about, that really creates this condition for, to follow the Guru, to devote oneself to the practices and so forth and so on. So yeah, okay. So let me share my screen. Okay, hang on, this is the wrong tab. Okay, so we covered that already. Remembering correctly, respecting, remembering, right, here we go. Okay, so actually, hang on for a minute. Devoting to action. Yeah, devoting to thought and action. Is it coming? Okay, maybe this is the, yeah. Okay, so there's a first one. I think this one and the next one doesn't have a video. So what we'll do is we will read it and kind of contemplate it, I guess. And if you have any questions, you can certainly interrupt me, right? Okay. So this topic is the Guru is kinder than all the Buddhas. So in the Guru Puja, when he says Guru Puja, he means the Lama Zopa, the text. There are some verses that express the kindness of the Guru. The first verse says, the Guru is kinder than all the Buddhas of the 3 times. So it says, to those untamed by countless past Buddhas, the unruly migrators of this degenerate age who are difficult to subdue, you accurately show the good way of those gone to bliss. Compassionate refuge savior, I make requests to you. So we are the evil ones, the unruly migrators who could not be subdued by the numberless Buddhas who descended to this world in the past. But now, in these degenerate times, yourself and others, the Guru, the compassion refuge savior, shows the path of those who have gone to bliss, meaning the path of the Buddhas exactly. Therefore, the Guru is kinder than all the Buddhas. The next verse says, the Guru is even kinder than the Shakyamuni Buddha. When the son of the Muni, the Buddha, the Shakyamuni Buddha, sets, because of the times, you enact the deeds of a conqueror for the many migrating beings who lack a savior refuge. Compassionate savior, refuge savior, I make request to you. So when the sun of the Buddha's teaching sets, meaning the teachings degenerate, and it is about to become dark for the transmigratory beings of this world, including yourself, who are without a savior, the Guru does the actions of the Buddhas. So this kind of refers to, there's a cycle of when the Buddhas appear, right? So the Buddhas, you can read the Lamram or other texts about, the eons and the dark eons, the light eon, and so forth and so on. But basically, you have, in this eon, there will be 1,000 Buddhas who will appear. I think the Buddha Shakyamuni was the 12th, I think, something like that. I can't remember. Maitreya will be the 13th. But in between the time when the Shakyamuni Buddha appeared, which is the time we're in, and the time that Maitreya will appear, there will be a dark eon, so to speak. And during that time, during this time, while we're alive, the teachings are degenerating, right? And at some point, the teachings will, so they say that, the beginning Buddha is there and he speaks so you can hear his words, and then his words are gone, but it's written down. And then there are teachers who will, talk about, who will interpret them. And then those teachers will be gone and only the words will remain, but nobody will know how to interpret them. And even then, after that, the words will be gone. And basically then there are no teachings left, right? So we are still in a fortunate time because we have the words, we have the teachers. And then, so that's what he's talking about. So when the sun of the Muni sets, so we're still in the middle of the setting process. Our minds are not only dark without the sun or moon, but gloomy with fogginess. Our minds have so much delusion and so many wrong concepts, like unbelievable clouds covering them, that we cannot see the Buddhas in the aspect of Buddhas as pure. We cannot see that. So then the Buddha cannot guide us. The Buddha has to manifest in an ordinary form, having mistakes, delusions. For this reason, the Guru is kinder than all the Buddhas. Why the Guru is kinder than all the Buddhas is because of that. Only then can Buddhas guide us, give initiations, all the levels of vows, and communicate with us. So each Guru is a wish-granting jewel. But a wish-granting jewel is nothing compared to the Guru. If you pray to a wish-granting jewel, you only get external material comforts, but no special attainments like liberation and enlightenment. By just praying to the wish-granting jewel for liberation and enlightenment, or for bodhicitta, you don't get them. It's not like that. So however many gurus you have, think of all of them. For example, you may have one guru who shows an ordinary aspect with delusions, suffering, or mistakes, such as showing pride, anger, attachment, or jealousy. But still he gives you teachings, benefits you, and guides you in so many skillful ways that it is unbelievable. He gives you teachings, and then you practice them and achieve happiness. With the realizations of refuge and karma due to meeting the Guru, you're able to achieve the happiness of future lives. Then with the three great higher trainings, liberation, and then with the three higher trainings, you gain liberation. And then with the six perfections, you gain the Mahayana enlightenment. And then with Tantra, you can achieve enlightenment in one lifetime. then with the highest yoga tantra, you can achieve enlightenment in one brief lifetime of degenerate times.
Are we
So,
in degenerate times right now?
We are in degenerate times right now, yes. Yeah, because it is, it is degenerating. The teachings are degenerating. Some people say, for example, the fact that, the teachings disappeared in India, about 1,000 years ago. That was one, it doesn't even exist, right? Right now, for example, for the most part, it doesn't exist. Then, the teaching spread to Tibet, and then Tibet got, invaded and so forth and so on. And so yeah, so it is, people said those are signs of degeneration, right? And, some people, so yeah, so they are degenerating, but we are still in a fortunate time that we have, Geshe-la, people like Geshe-la who are qualified to teach us. Of course, we have beings like Rinpoche, and His Holiness with clairvoyance and, very, very high realizations who can guide us, and they can show us what is possible, right? Because after a while, when they're gone, they're not going to be people who can show us what is possible. So we are still fortunate, right, that we have these beings in front of us. So, so yeah, so we are still in a fortunate time, and the Guru, when Geshe-la teaches, for example, I remember that Geshe Gelek, who is one of my teachers from North Carolina, is the Kadampa Center, North Carolina, and he mentioned something once. He said that if you are coming to, and he wasn't talking about himself, he was just talking about in general. If you come to teachings, with someone, whoever someone is, and you come, and you've been coming to his teachings for many months or even years or whatever. So obviously that teacher is benefiting you, right? So if that's the case, then how can he or she not be a representative of the Buddha, right? I mean, so I think we have to think like that. Just because they're in front of us, and they make mistakes or whatever, yeah, we can't trust that, So anyway, so that's why it's, yeah. So one of my teachers, Venerable Rene, said this, and I still follow it every day, is, he said that when you wake up, always think about, or in your practice, when you do your practice, always think about, your Guru, his kindness and his qualities, and really it's kind of like reminds you of why one is doing what one is doing, and why it's important, why it's important to continue on the spiritual path, because we go through times when it's not clear, times of doubt and so forth and so on. So the Guru, that's when remembering the Guru is really helpful. So any questions, other questions on this? Yeah, so it's important to meditate on. That's what I would suggest. If you have time, to incorporate some little bits, whatever you can do from this Rinpoche's words, from the words in the Lamram, from Geshe-la's words, whatever it is, right? It's important to even just spend 5 minutes on just spending on Guru devotion every day, as part of your practice. And it doesn't take much, just 5 minutes is enough, if that's all you've got. But it really does make a difference. So, yeah. Okay. So the Guru is let me see. Yeah. So the Guru is wish fulfilling. Actually, let me skip to how to devote correctly to the Guru, because I think that's an important topic. This has a video. So let me do this. So this is video number 8. So let me put on, let me go to, whoops. I can put the transcript so that you can follow along with the oh yeah, I don't care about that. So you can follow the transcript along with the along with the video. So let me put it in the chat box. Where does Zoom go? Okay. Chat. Okay. Okay. Oops. Oh, it's still downloading? Really? No, I think it should be done. Yes. So you should have it in your chat box now, and you can follow the transcript along with the video if you need it. Okay, so.
By having studied the chapter, the first chapter in the Lama Zopa were presenting Dharma in Lamram, first Guru devotion that comes to say, the Guru devotion comes first. Why? Because first because the Lama Zopa concern is it comes later. Person doesn't know the person make many mistakes from very beginning. Right after medical connection, they make many mistakes. Then you see, then this is the most powerful object in their life. Think you see, already made some mistakes. Then they are so heavy in karma. So one has to explain all those results, sufferings, no realization this life. There's so many problems, sicknesses, and so many problems. Or not another name. This is without talking the unimaginable, many years later, but the Lord, and without, and then all the future life, do not good karma, you're born a human being, but goes unable to find Guru in the future lives. Even you wish, but you can't find, and then also possible meeting the wrong Guru, who misguide you, and then like this, the effect from this life, effect of this life, the wrong effect, negative effect, you see, you cannot find or you find, but misguiding. And so there's the can't achieve liberation from samsara, can't achieve enlightenment. You see, only samsara, the Lord. So what you achieve is something extra. So this is what I normally mention. This is what I normally mention. Sorry, the Dharmakaya Shankha was mentioned there. Somebody who is extremely full, like pig. Somebody who is extremely full, mind. Pig. But strong devotion to Guru. But no difficulties there. No difficulties for that person to become in the future to become like Manjushri. Now it's extremely full, ignorant, like pig. So ignorant, not the knowledge, but strong devotion. So that it's extremely full, like pig and dogs. So extremely full. But the strong devotion, no difficulty in the future as it do to become like Manjushri. So that quick to achieve enlightenment. So this one the most important, most important. It shows that the devotion there. Anyway, so my talk gets my talk get more spread out, so they more and more spread out. So to come back, see, so that you see, even yeah, so with the correct devoting versus friend, would say, the mind is here. By looking at Buddha, seeing Buddha, then that helps. Then that helps help see the devoting with the action, able to devote Guru correctly with the action. Action is with the on the person's mind. Action. First of all, the obtain advice, anyway, so whatever advice given, so you see, because you have studied, you knew the Guru Rinpoche subject. So that's the most important thing to know first at the beginning. So it's like if you want to live in it. It's like if you want to live in the country, to live in the United States. You want to live in the United States. And then you see, you have to know. I mean, all the laws, what is illegal, what you can do, what you can't do, everything you have to know. Otherwise, you get in trouble if you don't know the law. And same thing when you drive car. Just that one thing about driving car. So you have to know all the things. What is not allowed, what is allowed. The law, you have to know everything. See, otherwise you get in trouble. Otherwise you drive a car, then the same day you get in trouble. So see, you end up in prison. You go in prison the same day, same hour. So that here the stand Guru Rinpoche subjects it. So to study well, to make yourself understand.
Okay. Yeah, I always like Rinpoche's Rinpoche's examples. It's funny, like he just pulls these examples you wouldn't think of, but they make total sense, And so I think the main thing he was talking about there was that, you can have as he says, a totally fool mind, like a pig or a dog. But if you have Guru devotion, everything becomes easy. And, in the Lamram, there's a story about this woman, she was in a village somewhere in Tibet, and she didn't know anything, but she had great, just pure devotion, right? And so her son, who was back then they would trade salt, and they would take salt from Tibet, go over the mountains to India, and then trade it for fabric and various things, and they come in the caravans, So, and it would take about 6 months, like 3 months up, 3 months back, so it would take 6 months out of the year to basically do that. So her son was going off in one of these caravans. He was a trader, and he was going to India. So she said that, okay, when you go to India, can you bring me a relic of the Buddha? Because she wanted to put it on the altar. Anyway, so he went for this trading trip and all this other stuff. And then he was on his way back. And at the final pass above the village, he saw the village and the final pass. And then he remembered, oh my God, I was supposed to bring this relic. And he knew how important it was to his mother. So he's like, what am I going to do now? Well, he found this kind of like a bone of a dog or something on the side of the road because the dog had died and blah, blah, blah. And so he picked up this little tooth, a dog's tooth, I think it was, and he brought it to his mother. And he said, look, here's a relic. And so mother, of course, believed it. And so she had great devotion, and she put the relic on her altar, and she just, prayed and made supplications and so forth, the prostration and so forth and so on. But because of her devotion, even though the relic wasn't real, And she really didn't have any study. She hadn't studied anything. She probably didn't even know the alphabet and so forth and so on. But because of her great devotion, she got into a pure, she was born into a pure land the next time around, you know, and she was able to, of course, get teachings directly from, you know, from the Buddhas. So that's an example that's given. But I think in general, I mean, you know, for us Westerners, it's kind of like, oh, you know, I don't know if I believe this stuff. But I will tell you that what I have found in my personal experience is that the times that I have guru devotion, things are easier. Things just in life are easy. Obstacles, there are not as many obstacles in worldly life, in just normal life, and there are not as many obstacles in spiritual life. And so things just do come out easier. You know, things just, when you're studying a text, it becomes easier to understand. You know, it's very interesting how it works. So anyway, any questions on that? No? Okay. So let me see what the next one is. Obeying the Guru's advice and offering service. Yes. So let's do that one. Okay. And then I'll share my screen. Oh, I need to, so let me also get the transcript. And I'll share my screen. And then I'll put the transcript on the. Okay, so now it should be there. And then let's start, yeah.
You know, every single advice the Guru gave, every day, every time one is get done, it purifies. You know, so many years think karma, and you become closer to enlightenment. You see, every time. You become closer to enlightenment. What is doing service? You see, with the person's mind. What is doing service? I say far, doing service, far or close, whatever. I say. You know, doing retreat, whatever. You know, studying Dharma, as Guru instructed. So every single thing, everyday life, every single thing get done. You know what Guru advice. So most unbelievable purification. Purifying past all the power. Karma, many lives, many eons. It can be purified, and it's the most powerful thing. Then you see, collect most extensive merits. The highest merit you collect with Guru. I went through already the other day. How to go? It is the most powerful. You know, the numbers Buddhas I mentioned already. So therefore, every time when you get done advice, so that you collect the most extensive merit every time. Whatever the Guru advised to do, everything get done. So with the chanting mantra, you see, commitment every day to recite the mantra. You know, it's one mala or mani padme hum. You know, each time one chant or mani padme hum, one mala. So each time chant, there's obtaining advice as you are instructed. You know, so unbelievable. Say, many years they come and get purified, and then collect most extensive merit, and so that each time everyday life, each time when you study Dharma, so that constantly happens. Most power purification and most important, has extensive way of collecting merits. Coming close to enlightenment all the time. Of course. Anyway, so yeah. So anyway, then say, for example, cleaning. You see, offering service. Each time when you clean, with the broom or with whatever recommend. Each time you clean the dust, you become close to enlightenment. You know, unbelievable lives, many years life they can get purified. Like the most extensive merit. So it's just the most amazing, most unbelievable fortunate that person is. Most unbelievable fortunate that person is. You know, every time coming closer to enlightenment. So every day, every hour, every minute, every second, you become closer to enlightenment. So you see that. Then and then the most powerful thing, each time when you please the Guru, each time when you please the Guru, then that's the unbelievable, the most powerful purification is that. You know, among the purification, that's the most powerful purification, that when you please the Guru.
Yeah. So I think that. So that's, you know, as Lamram says, that's the, you know, that you can serve the Guru in different ways, right? You can serve the Guru by making offerings. You can, well, three main ways it talks about, right? Serving the Gurus by offering your practice, serving the Gurus by making offerings of monetary offerings or sponsoring his teachings and so forth and so on. And you can also serve the Guru by praising him to others so that they also be able to create a connection with him, right? So they can bring the Dharma to others. So those are the main three ways of offering to the Guru. But it says what pleases the Guru the most is the offering of practice. If you follow the Guru's advice, that is what makes him the happiest, because he knows that his words and his actions are helping you, because, it says the Buddhas are, when we perform virtue and we do our practices and so forth and so on, that is what makes the Buddhas happy, because they see that we are working towards enlightenment, not just for ourselves, but for others. And of course, exactly the same is true for the Guru, because he is a representative of the Buddhas, right? So that's the best way to offer ourselves to the Guru. So that's what he's talking about. Of course, offering to the Guru, because of the field of merit, right? The Guru is even higher field of merit than all the Buddhas, right? And all the deities and all of them, right? So because we're making offerings, the offering is to a higher field of merit. The merit we collect and the purification we do, as Rinpoche said, is just unbelievable, right? So that's much higher than making offerings to the Buddhas or making, whatever else, So that's the best form of making progress, purifying obstacles and collecting merit is to make offerings to the Guru. Any questions on what Rinpoche said? No. Okay. So I think now what we'll do is we will talk about so Rinpoche has some words to say about doing the prayers to the lineage gurus, right? And so what I'll do is I'll share my screen and show you what the prayer is, and then we will see Rinpoche's hear Rinpoche. Okay, so this is from, and you can get it, and I think the FPMT might have it as a separate publication, but this is from, so let me remember, page 128. So this is from the FPMT prayer book. So this is what we use normally during retreats, Rinpoche's retreats or retreats of our own, so this is, for example, what I use for my daily practice during my own retreat. And it basically has mainly, guru devotion stuff, because that's one of the most important thing to do in retreat. And then the Lama Zopa, which one is supposed to do every day if you're doing a Lamram retreat. So anyway, so that's, and if you want to do the Lama Zopa, then during the Sog days, like one of the usual, well, it was, I don't know exactly, I haven't gone to the TNL Sogs recently, but used to be that one time, there are 2 Sog days a month, and one time in the, you know what I mean when I say Sog days, right? Yeah. So once a month, it's the Vajrasattva, Heruka Vajrasattva Sog practice. And the other one was, I think it still is, a Lama Zopa practice, right? So that's what this is, So that's part of the retreat prayer book. And as part of that, there is a section of that. So back to page 128. These are, okay, I guess my notes and stuff. But anyway, page 128, where to go? 128, okay. Okay, so right after we do the mandala practice, one is supposed to do if you have time, to do the requesting prayer to all the Lamram lineage gurus, okay? And this is a relatively long prayer because it goes through all the, from the Buddha on down, all the gurus, so all the lineage masters. And that's why I find it very inspiring, because you are reciting the names of all the great masters for the last 2,500 years who have, done so much to get the teachings to us, right? And it's a wonderful tune as well. And if you can also get the tune from the FPMT, in the Lama Zopa tune, I think. If you can't, let me know. If you're interested, I can send you the tune as well. But basically it's along, and it kind of goes like, so you go to start the root guru, then all the, the Asanga and Vasubandhu and Parama, so from the method lineage and the wisdom lineage and so forth and so on. And then down to his, like Lama Tsongkhapa and his holiness and down all the way, right? So that's a relatively long prayer. There is a shorter version, which I think is on page 178, it said. So that's the one we will do. And we will hear Rinpoche speak, and then we will, okay, here we go, 180, so 178. So this is a shorter version, okay? And you can still do the same tune. So this is called Abbreviated Request of the Lineage Gurus, and it kind of goes like this. Belden Sawe Lama Rinpoche Dagi Chiwor Pe Moi Ten Jumla Kadrin Chen Pui Gone Jejung Te Kusung Tu Gido Drup Sel Du. So like that. And then there's a couple of different tunes, and you do this twice based depending on which tune you're doing, and so forth and so on. But anyway, you can get the tune if you're interested, or ask me or send me an email and I can send it to you. So let's listen to so this is the request, and usually one does this as part of Lama Zopa. or if it really inspires you, and I do this sometimes just by itself, because, for that extra oomph one needs in one's practice, you can do this, and I find it very inspiring. You can try it, and if you find it inspiring, do it. If not, that's fine. Different people are different ways, but it collects a lot of merit anyway, so you can't go wrong. Let's put it that way. Okay, so let's now listen to Rinpoche speaking about this, and then and let me put in the chat box the transcript. Whoops, where'd it go? Oh, okay. Well, maybe I'll have to download it again. Hang on. Damn it. Oh my! What is wrong with this thing? My clicker isn't working. That's brilliant. Sorry?
I had something like that yesterday.
Let me stop the share and try it. Maybe that's, here we go. I stopped the share and now it's working. Okay, whatever. Okay, so while it's doing that, I will, hey, Donnie. I apologize
for so late.
It's okay. You can watch it online, so let's, all right. So now let me share my screen again. Share screen, Safari. Okay. So now we will go to meditating, requesting prayers to the lineage gurus. Okay, so let's listen. And let me put on the chat the transcript. I think this is it. Oh, shoot. What did I do? Okay, this should be it. So I think this is it. Video 10. Yes, that's the right one. Okay, so I've put the transcript in the chat, and then let's watch this.
So that's lack of Dharma. Why suffering? Lack of Dharma. Lack of Dharma. Dharma practice. Lack of Dharma practice. Lack of Dharma practice. Lack of practice of renunciation, lack of bodhicitta, lack of right view, lack of these things. So while lives, it turned out to be so much suffering, so much more wealthy, but more wealthy, but more dissatisfied. And then so much depression, so much depression, more greater depression. Then life living on the alcohol. Then no other solution. There's no meditation. There's no Dharma practice. There's no food for the mind. There's no medicine for the mind. You see, there's no Dharma. Special compassion, as I mentioned also last night, for the lives. See. I mentioned compassion. Many of the refugees I mentioned the compassion. Then also the wisdom. Wisdom is not just any kind of wisdom, but Dharma wisdom. You have to understand. We have wisdom, but the wisdom. But what helps them life is wisdom. Just not just any. But one can have a wrong understanding of what wisdom is. So the knowing what is right, be harmful to others. Knowing what is useful, benefits to you and to others. So knowing that correctly. So Dharma wisdom. So the lang to the lineage, share up the Tibetan word, share up the lang to lineage. You know which can recognize to differentiate to see what is harm and what is to practice, what is to abandon, what is good, what is bad. You know, the wisdom can discover that. So see, knowing what is good, what is bad is that's wisdom able to recognize that, able to see that. You see, that I think that's the big. I think that's the biggest question in the world. That's the biggest question in the world. I think that's the biggest question in the world, and if that's the biggest question, most important question, and more the people in the world, they develop that wisdom. You see, understand what is exactly that is harm, what exactly that's good, or what is that bad. See. So more develop that wisdom, then there can be more peace in the world. You see, more education that, more education that, more education that. That wisdom can see what's right, what's wrong, and beneficial, harming. So then you see, then there can be more peace in the world. More people have that wisdom.
Oops. Right.
Do I really see Fox News on there? Cool.
Where? Oh, that's interesting.
It's got Rinpoche. It has all these boxes, and it's the last one.
Yeah, I see it. I guess it's an ad that
Oh my goodness.
YouTube puts up, you know?
That's interesting.
It's funny. There are other videos from YouTube, right? So I guess
I thought maybe you had a secret life. Just kidding.
Well, you know, I have. There are many secrets that you don't know about. So yeah, Fox News is the least of my viceful secrets.
That's funny.
Anyway, so yeah, so that's where. So Rinpoche there was kind of giving it the motivation for doing the requesting prayers, right? To develop the wisdom to know. Because as you said, without the medicine of the mind from Dharma, we resort to these other, we think, solutions of alcohol, drugs, and then of course depression, all kinds of things happen, right? And so if we gain the blessings of the gurus, then we develop the wisdom and we're able to save ourselves, really, right? In the ultimate meaning of the word. There are a couple of chapters I'm skipping here. Specifically, he has a couple of chapters because we're running out of time, identifying the root guru and but I'm going to go to the last chapter, which is how to do the lineage, the prayers to the lineage lamas, right? Because I think it's important that we know how to do certain things in our own practices, right? These are practical advice from Rinpoche. So let me go to the last chapter, identifying the root guru. I'll try to send it to you so you can read it yourself. Okay, so I guess this one is there's not a video, but there's advice in written form. I mean, from his teachings. I don't know why they have some of these not as videos, but anyway. So meditating on the verse of the requesting prayer, and then we'll do the requesting prayer to end. First, visualize your root guru above your crown. He's recommending you to the merit field. It is like when you want to achieve an extremely important thing in your life, you go to a government office with someone who can introduce you to the government officials and who has some power with them so that they will do as you ask and help you. You make requests to the root guru to help you like that. You can tell Rinpoche is from India, right? Because that's what you need in India. Nothing happens unless you know somebody who knows somebody. Believe me, I know for a fact. I know from personal experience. Okay. The last line of each verse of the requesting prayer is repeated 2 times with the first repetition. So this is you remember the lineage prayers with the last line, right? So you have 4 lines in each verse. And so you'll repeat the last line twice. That's Rinpoche's tradition. There's another tradition where you only do it once, but this is what Rinpoche is suggesting, and this is what I do. It's also, I find, more inspiring because the tune slightly changes in the second time you do it. So it's really beautiful to be able to do that. So the last line of each verse of the requesting prayer is repeated 2 times. With the first repetition, all your obstacles are purified with nectar and light beams. With the second repetition, you receive all the qualities of the gurus and all the realizations of the graduated paths of profundity and extensiveness. The next verse is the request to he's going over the first few verses. The next verse is the request to the founder of the great present Buddha Dharma, Guru Shakyamuni Buddha. Then come the lineage lamas of the graduated path of extensive deeds. Again, with the first repetition, all the obstacles and wrong concepts and generating realizations are purified, including all the defilements, and in particular, the self-cherishing thought. And then the same thing happens with respect to the obstacles to the tantric path of method and wisdom, the ordinary view and ordinary concept, and the impure mind, wind and mind. Then you achieve all the realizations, in particular, bodhicitta, according to sutra, and with regard to the tantric method, you achieve all the generation stage realizations, the completion stage illusory body, and the result, the Rupakaya. If you have questions about these tantric things, I am not going to go into detail about them because I'm not certainly qualified to, but you can certainly ask Geshe-la if you need advice on these if you need explanations of these kinds of things. So do the meditation in detail like that. The first repetition prevents all obstacles and in particular purifies the self-cherishing thought. Then with the second request, you generate all the realizations of the sutra method, especially the bodhicitta, and then the realizations of the tantra method. You can also abbreviate like this. The result that is achieved is the Rupakaya and the Dharmakaya. So Dharmakaya is a truth body of the Buddha, right? So once the Buddha achieves enlightenment, once a Bodhisattva achieves enlightenment and becomes a Buddha, his emptiness, or his realization of emptiness, becomes a truth body. And the Rupakaya is the form body, so there are a couple of different form bodies. One is the form body in which he appears to us in the desire realm, and another is a form body, the Sambhogakaya, which appears in the Pure Land. When the Buddha teaches in the Pure Land, he teaches in the form of the Sambhogakaya. So those are the form bodies. So the first repetition prevents all obstacles, and then with the second, you generate all the realizations of Sutra method and the realization of Tantra method. So that's kind of how to do it. Next comes the requesting prayer to lineage lamas of the graduated path of profundity. Yes. So the first of the method, graduated path of extensive deeds, the method, and the graduate path of profundity is the lineage of wisdom, right? So the first request purifies all the obstacles, all the wrong concepts, and in particular, ignorance and generation of impure mind and impure appearance. What is purified is ignorance, the ordinary view and ordinary concept, and the ordinary or impure wind and mind. Then what is actualized is the wisdom realizing emptiness, and in Tantra, the clear light, the extremely subtle wisdom of clear light. From the completion stage, what is actualized is the clear light and the result, the Dharmakaya. You actualize great bliss and achieve the result of the Dharmakaya. When going into a little bit in detail, it is like that. But in short, with this request, you receive all the realizations of the graduated path of profundity, the graduate path of wisdom. My idea is that when you do this requesting prayer, before you recite each name, that is Guru, Shakyamuni, Buddha, Mitra, Buddha, or Sangha, etc., think that nectar and beams are emitted that completely purify all your obstacles, delusions, etc., as I explained before. Then, as you recite each of the names of the lineage lamas, a replica comes from each one and absorbs into you, and you receive their qualities. This is kind of like how we do it in the Guru Yoga practices, right? So it's kind of similar. Or else, in the yellow nectar and beams are emitted, and you receive all the realizations of, for example, the graduated path of extensiveness. I think it is maybe easier like that rather than leaving it to the end and not having time to think of it. So purify while you recite. As you go through each name, a replica or yellow nectar and beams are emitted, and you receive the realizations of Sutra and Tantra, the graduated path of extensiveness. When you come to Lama Atisha, since he received both lineages, the graduated path of extensive deeds and the graduated path of profundity, so this is again method and wisdom. That's how we normally call it in our work, in our texts and so forth and so on. Both are purified, and you receive both the realizations of method and wisdom. Then the same for the Kadampa Geshes of the Lamrimpa. They practice the extensive Buddha Dharma integrated with the Lamrim and achieve enlightenment. You should also practice in this way. When that group is finished, the Umze, the chant master, stops and then starts again with the Kadampa Geshe Potawa and so forth up to Shungpawa, those who lead sentient beings by directly revealing extensive scriptures and putting them into practice. When the next group finishes, the Umze leads the next one, the Kadampa Geshes, etc. They put the teachings the Guru gave into practice and achieve realizations in that way and showed that way. All these are the same. Obstacles are purified to both attainments. And when the name is finished, you receive all the realizations. Do it like that. Then do the same for Lama Tsongkhapa. So I'll just mention that, it may seem complicated what he's saying with all, blah, blah, blah. But the easiest, and that's what he also said, the easiest way to do this, especially when one is starting out, is the same way one does, for example, in the Lama Tsongkhapa Guru Yoga, which is that as you do them, in Lama Tsongkhapa Guru Yoga, you do the Miksema, Mingme Sewe Sewe prayer, right? Many, many times. What one does in the abbreviated fashion, there's a longer way too, but the abbreviated fashion, what one does is, so Lama Tsongkhapa and his two disciples are in front of us. And so one, you get, you see white light, through the crown of your head or through your heart, whichever you wish. And it purifies all our negativities, especially negativities towards the Guru, right? And then you receive yellow light which is the nectar beams of yellow light, which gives us all the realization, the Lamrim realizations of Lama Tsongkhapa, as well as Tantra and and method and wisdom. For method being the Lamrim practice, the compassion, and then wisdom is the emptiness, right? So method, wisdom, Tantra. So we receive all those realizations from the Guru, from Lama Tsongkhapa, who is inseparable from the Guru, right? So that's basically the same exact thing that Rinpoche is talking about here. The abbreviated way is just, when you start, don't get hung up on all the different things that Rinpoche is saying, but the abbreviated way is you can do it for all of the verses, and that will work, and you still get all the blessings, So that's what Rinpoche is saying here. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay. So then do the same for Lama Tsongkhapa. Lama Atisha is from the old Kadampa tradition, and Lama Tsongkhapa is a new Kadampa tradition. In this way, you concentrate very precisely, and you achieve the realizations very neatly, very precisely. The meditation is done in this very precise way. By doing the visualization at the end with Solwa Deb, at each verse at the end it ends with Solwa Deb, there may not be any time to think of purification and receiving attainments. You do the same down to the root gurus. What? By doing the visualization at the end, there may not be, hang on, stop. There may not be any time to think of, I don't know what he's saying there. You do the same down to the root gurus. First purify the obstacles to generating both the realizations of the lineage lamas of the path of extensive deity, lineage lama of the path of profundity. And then when you say the name, you receive the realization. So as you're doing the verse, as we are doing the verse, we purify ourselves with the, like you can imagine a replica, as Rinpoche said, comes to the top of our head and gives us white light, to purify ourselves. And then as we say the name of the Guru, then we receive the yellow light and we gain the realizations, right? So that, and if you aren't able to create the replica and so forth and so on, then just imagine the Guru in front of us and receive just directly from him the white light and then the yellow light, right? The other important thing, which Rinpoche didn't stress here, but I think he probably talks about it in the previous chapter, which we skipped, is whenever we're doing these practices, it's very important to remember that the Guru is inseparable from the Buddha, right? So when we have Lama Tsongkhapa in front of us with his two disciples during Lama Tsongkhapa Guru Yoga, or if we're doing Tara Guru practice, or we're doing Manjushri practice, or we're doing Chenrezig practice, it's important to remember the deity in front of us is in the Dharmakaya form the same as our Guru. So in fact, it says in there that you think of your Guru and then he transforms into the deity, right? Because out of emptiness, they are no different. So, and it's a Tantra way of thinking about it, but still that's in our tradition, that's what. So when you are doing this lineage practice to the lineage gurus, or you're doing any other Guru Yoga practice like Chenrezig, et cetera, it's important to remember the Guru is no different from the Buddha, from the deity, right? So yeah. Okay, so let's do this, and I won't do the tune. I think there are other people who are much better qualified to do the tune, but I will. But let's go to do the English of the lineage prayer. So we'll do the abbreviated request, and as I said, there is a longer version, which is I find more inspiring, but that's okay. This is a good start. So so we'll finish with this, right? So as we do this practice, let's set our motivation that that whatever actions we take, that we are following the advice of the Guru, that we always try to remember his qualities, his or her qualities and kindness, and we want to be like him, and that we have worked always for the benefit of all sentient beings, right? And that our Gurus, Geshe-la, Lama Zopa, His Holiness, all our Gurus have long, happy lives and stay with us for a long time, and we continue to meet them in all our future lives. So with that kind of mindset, we can do our prayer to all the lineage Gurus in our tradition. To the root Guru, magnificent and precious root Guru. So, and as you do this, do the visualization of the white light and the yellow light, right? Magnificent and precious root Guru, please abide in the lotus seat on my crown, guide me with your great kindness, and grant me the realizations of your holy body, speech, and mind. And grant me the realizations of your holy body, speech, and mind. Holy body, to the Guru Shakyamuni Buddha, holy body created by 10 million excellent virtues, holy speech fulfilling the hopes of infinite transmigratory beings, holy mind seeing all the objects of knowledge as they are. To the principle of the Shakyas, I make requests. To the principles of the Shakyas, I make requests. So this is the name, as he was saying. As you say the name, you can think of you gain the realizations. To Mitra and Manjushri, supreme heirs of the unequal teacher, having assumed the burden of all the conqueror's deeds, emanating in innumerable Buddha lands, to Maitreya and Manjughosha, I make requests. To Maitreya and Manjughosha, I make requests. Thoroughly renowned throughout the three levels, ornament of Jambudvipa, who wrote extensive commentaries on the intent of the mother of conquerors, so difficult to fathom. At the feet of Nagarjuna and Asanga, I make requests. At the feet of Nagarjuna and Asanga, I make requests. To Lama Tisha and the Gurus of the Kadampa tradition, bearer of the treasury of instructions that comprise the key points, unmistaken and complete of the paths of the profound view and vast conduct, transmitted well from the two great trailblazers. To Dipankara Atisha, I make requests. To Dipankara Atisha, I make requests. To Lama Tsongkhapa, his two disciples and the gurus, the New Kadampa tradition. Jai Tsongkhapa, trailblazer of spiritual doctrine in the land of snow. Gyaltsab Jai, lord of factual reasoning. Kedrup Jai, keeper of the teachings and sutra and tantra. To the lineage of father and sons, I make requests. To the lineage of father and sons, I make requests. Kabja Trijang Rinpoche, His Holiness's Guru, His Lama Zopa Rinpoche's Guru, Lama Yeshe's Guru, sole embodiment of the transcendental wisdom of all the noble conquerors, foremost of upholders of the conqueror's stainless teachings, savior who emanates an ocean of infinite mandalas, kind Guru, Lozang Yeshe Tenzin Gatso, at your feet I make requests. Kind Guru, Lozang Yeshe Tenzin Gatso, at your feet I make requests. To His Holiness Dalai Lama, you who have control over Hiro Manjushri's speech, with a fine mind and transcendental wisdom upholding the victorious one's teachings, deep as the ocean, savior conquering the three jewels of existence. To you, incomparable one, Jampel Nawang Lozang Yeshe Tenzin Gatso, I make requests. To you, incomparable one, Jampel Nawang Lozang Yeshe Tenzin Gatso, I make requests. To Kabje Thupten Zopa Rinpoche, with your strong shoulders of learning and practice, you patiently establish in all directions the stainless banner of the Muni's teachings, and especially the teaching of Lama Tsongkhapa. To the extremely steadfast Thupten Zopa, I make requests. To the extremely steadfast Thupten Zopa, I make requests. And to all other gurus, eyes viewing all the infinite scriptures, supreme gateway for the fortunate traveling to liberation, engaging with skillful means moved by love. To the illuminating spiritual friends, I make requests. To the illuminating spiritual friends, I request. And finally, kind of a purification prayer. May I not give rise to heresy for even a second in regard to the actions of the glorious Guru. May I see whatever actions are done as pure. With this devotion, may I receive the Guru's blessings in my heart. So, you know, what I would encourage you is that is to learn the tune, because I find the tune really beautiful, to learn how to chant the tune. And then it makes it a lot easier as you read the Tibetan and you do the tune, because then you know, all you need to remember is the name of the Lama, right? And you just do the tune, and as you think, and the tune kind of just, well, that's how mantras work, right? It kind of just brings the mind to a different level, right? It settles the mind, but also like it kind of broadens it, widens it, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So the tune kind of helps kind of just create that inspiration, you know? So even if you're reading in English, I mean, once you've done it a couple of times, you know all the lamas and so forth. So you just do the tune and you do the Tibetan and you just think of the lama and you just receive the blessings and the purification. And it's a really beautiful practice. If you can do that, you know, it's wonderful. Do it once a week if that's all you can do, you know, but it's a really wonderful practice. So, okay. Any final questions? I hope Rinpoche's words were, you know, had the meaning that they have for me, you know, that they were as inspiring to you and makes you want to be like him. You know, that's why I listen to Rinpoche, to want to be like him. So, and any last questions? No? Okay. Well,
Thank you, though. Hi,
Oh.
Sheila. Thank you.
yes, of course. Yeah, so if you have any questions, let me know. You know my email, shankha@gmail.com. And I will have a wonderful weekend, have a wonderful week. See you until I see you next time. All right.